And movement. Where? Yes. Yeah. Alright. Because I don't video is like outside, so when the just close the door and finish. I mean, instead of leave Ready now.
How long
Ready.
we can last for?
Ready. Start. Play a song. I'm gonna play a song.
Dear chance, it's personal just for you and not for people you have never met. Got to stay safe on the internet. Don't be friends with people that you never met. You got to keep your information close to your chest. It's personal just for you and not for people you have never met. Meeting up with strangers is a bad idea. Strangers can be dangerous, it's true, I fear. Think about the information that you share. Do you want the world to know the color of your hair? How about the place you live or school you go to? Do you want the world to turn up at your home, or will you keep your information all a secret so you have no worries with the way the world will see you? Stay safe on the internet. Don't be friends with people that you never met. You got to keep your information close to your chest. It's personal just for you and not for people you have never met.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Nasty people when you talk to them, huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Parental Academy Live. Today we are joining you from studios at Parental Academy, located here in the pinnacle of the hills of Steertown. And today we have a very interesting topic for you, our viewers. Today we'll be looking at the safe ways to use the internet. We'll be looking at the do's and the don'ts of using the internet. Today I am privileged to have with me in studio Mr. Andrew Jones, Dean of Discipline, Ms. Joan Clark, Guidance Counselor, Mr. Chadwick Wallace, Guidance Counselor. Now these individuals today will be assisting us in finding out the safe ways or ways in which we can use the internet without jeopardizing ourselves and also committing image suicide. We don't want to assassinate ourselves on the internet now, do we? And so we have issues from time to time, my panelists, where young people engage in negative behaviors on the internet. The posting of images, the use of terminologies, the visits to unwarranted sites. Today we hope to help to educate each and every individual so that they can understand how to use the internet safely. Ladies and gentlemen, today will be an interactive session as well. It will be interactive to the point where we will be fielding questions from you, our viewers. And so, please note that at the appointed time, our phone lines will be open. And when the phone lines become open, you may call into our studio at 572-6566. That's 1-876-572-6566. And we will take your question. And I'm sure that the panel is more than able to answer your questions. At this point in time, we are going to have opening remarks from the panelists. And seeing that this issue is a very topical issue these last days, we are living in a technological era, panelists. I want to hear from you your thoughts about internet safety on the use or the safe use of the internet. Firstly, let us hear from Mr. Chadwick Wallace, the Senior Guidance Counselor here at Steertown Academy. Mr. Wallace, over to you, sir.
Let me first say good afternoon to our viewers and to the panel. We're living in a time where the use of the internet is now a hallmark of our operations. We have been hearing from work from home, we have been hearing about online, we have been hearing about computers and tablets. And the common factor among all these pointers is that the internet will be paramount. And so it gives the opportunity to examine what are some proper ways in which users can handle the internet properly. And so we have to be mindful that when we use the online platform, we have to remember that hundreds and thousands of persons are looking at us, they're seeing what we're doing. And so it also brings across the point that we have to be mindful of the image that we create for ourselves online, because even in the online setting, persons will see our behaviors, they will see how we carry ourselves, and it will give persons the impression of who we are. And we always have to be mindful that we must ensure that we always portray a positive image of ourselves in order for us to garner respect for ourselves and others.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wallace. Thank you so much. Now we'll hear from Ms. Joanne Clark, Guidance Counselor.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Mr. Wallace was saying, no, our primary source of disseminating information would have been using the internet, online, whether it be your WhatsApp status, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Google, whatever medium you choose to use online. We have to be careful of what we do, as he was saying, how we portray ourselves. Um, I just want to talk about 5 golden rules to stay safe online in this time. It is okay to block someone you are not comfortable communicating with. You might have an Instagram account because instead of going outside to play games, going outside to talk with your friends, we tend to use our smartphones very often. So we are on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. Even when we're playing that game, Free Fire, I think we interact with other individuals, right? So we have to be careful of what we put out. It is okay to block someone you are not comfortable communicating with. If you're on Instagram and somebody's texting you, somebody texts you on your WhatsApp number and say hi, you don't know the person, it's okay to block them. Students, if someone is texting your phone, even if you know the person but you're not comfortable with the person, it's fine. There is something on your WhatsApp status there that will tell you how to block the person, and you can block a person from Instagram and on Facebook as well. Do not accept friend requests from strangers. During the course of last year, I've seen where persons tend to put up something on their status that says contact needed. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get as many persons as they can to actually contact them via WhatsApp, persons who they don't know. That is not wise. You don't know someone, try your best not to, how would I put it now? Try your best not to try to attract strangers. Sometimes you don't know who is talking to you. You don't know who Mr. Jones can be texting you, and you don't know that it's Mr. Jones because he has Mr. Wallace's profile pic and he has my age. So you have to be careful where that is concerned. So my thing is do not accept invite from strangers. That's it for now.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Mr. Jones, over to you, sir.
With the advance of technology and information, we are able to reach persons in a global village. However, this can be beneficial to many because the boundaries have been moved because of technology. But at times, we don't understand that there are disadvantages. So as we go into this panel discussion, we want to talk about cyberbullying, we want to talk about bullying, we want to talk about cybercrime, because a lot of persons, sir, have been using this opportunity to create, even youngsters, students, who have been creating this opportunity to become cyber criminals, because they have been creating profiles to scam and to send scam messages to individuals across the world, and that can create a bad image of themselves and the country and the institution. So as we engage in this discussion, there are so many things that we want to examine and explore. I as it relates to advantage and disadvantage of this technology.
Thank you very much, panelists. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please note that the internet is a very wide-ranging space. It is an unlimited space. Cyberspace is a massive space. And we want to zone in on some specific things that affects young people as it relates to use of cyberspace. One of the things, Mr. Guidance counselors, especially Mr. Wallace and Ms. Clark, one of the things that children normally get involved in is what is called, there's something called sexual grooming via the internet. Can you shed some light on what is sexual grooming via the internet?
No, we live in a time where young people, they are always of the need to be accepted. And many young persons will go the extra mile in which to be accepted. And in many respects, they are ignorant to the realities that other persons using the internet portray to them. And so they might come across persons who, in their impression, seem to be friendly and seem to want to have a social relationship with them. But on the other hand, what those persons are actually doing is seeking to have a sexual relationship with these children. And so sexual grooming has to do with the preparation of people, especially underage people, for sexual activities that they themselves are not even prepared for. And so as young persons using the internet, as students who will be utilizing the internet for their primary means of accessing education, you have to be mindful that there are persons out there who do not have your best interest at heart. In fact, what they are seeking is what we call in our sphere sexual gratification. And so they will approach you as being friendly. They will approach you as being concerned for your well-being. And they will give you the impression that they care for you. And they will ask, how can I be of help to you? And you get that feeling that this person cares. And then after they establish that trust, then there comes the next step. And that might be to meet in a physical space. Because what the sexual groomers are doing is to gain your trust. You become a friend with them, and so you become comfortable when they have the next request to meet in person. And as young people, they because of their need to be loved and their need to be wanted, they will graft towards those persons. And so you find that because the trust would have been developed, persons would be encouraged to go and meet such persons with the idea that, oh, it's just a friendly meeting. But in reality, it is a meeting where their innocence can be taken. And so this is why this platform is very important, because a lot of persons across the world would have experienced this whole act of sexual grooming, so much so that many persons have become sexually abused. Some persons have become they have been trafficked for sexual reasons. There are some persons today who are still missing,
Even in Jamaica.
Yes.
because of the trust that they would have developed in these people.
I think, Mr. Wallace, that we need to point out too that Satan is a hotspot now for human trafficking.
This is the top five.
Yes, the top five. And our young people, ages 12 and upwards, are greatly affected by this sexual trafficking.
And this is especially here on the North
Coast,
to which Steertown Academy is strategically located on the North Coast. So this is why this medium is very important for our students and other viewers who might be in this geographical space.
And just to add,
Yes.
we need to allow youngsters to understand that these persons are not fools.
No.
They do their homework. They find out where you live, what your needs are, and they get associated with your parents in order for you, as Mr. Wallace said, to develop this trust By developing this trust and they provide to your parents, that sometimes not directly providing to you, but they provide to your parents so that you feel comfortable thinking that they want to help the family, but it's not the family they want to help, it's you.
Help themselves. They help themselves. In other words.
Yes,
Yes.
to help themselves sexually.
Yes.
Or to sell you, because sometimes it's not only for sexual gain, but it's also to trade you, as we have said in terms of human trafficking.
And also to add, sometimes they come under a false pretense, meaning sometimes you don't know that the person who you're talking to is not in the same age group as you are. Because you have some of them, Mr. Jones, who will
Yes.
appear to be a teenager just like yourself,
Right.
who attends a high
With the
school,
portfolio, like
similar, yes, and you find out that they will promise you phone cards, even though they're teenagers.
right.
Sometimes they promise you monetary items which they actually deliver. So they probably put top of your phone
Yes.
with some credit or send something, and then here you are now saying, I have a friend. So what you're going to do now is tell mommy, mommy, I'm going to meet so and so in St. Anne's Day at X time, and there you go and you meet so and so, who is actually not so and so, who is actually probably 40 odd years old, who is going to take you away and probably your parents won't see you again.
And sometimes they assist with
They have
homework assignment.
Yes,
Because they pretend like they're in the same age group, they help you the math or the social studies or the science or whatever subject they're in with your homework so that you feel comfortable.
Panelists, segueing into another area. We see the sexual grooming taking place.
yes,
But we also have another branch of it where our young people especially love to send nude pictures of
Yes.
themselves
yes,
via in social media,
yes.
right? And so we need to speak to the ills of these things. Can you shed some light into that, please?
As it relates to the notes, it all boils down to the level of trust that people in general develop for persons who they would not have seen in a physical space. And when that trust is established, then the foundation would have been laid for other activities that can go against you to form. And one of these, as our host said, is the sharing of notes. People are not just going to get up and share notes if they don't have an idea of who you are and a level of trust for you. And it is out of that why persons feel comfortable to share nude photos of themselves, not knowing the implications, the negative impact that those sharings can have on them future, in the future. And you'll find that a number of persons would have gotten themselves in a situation where their nude photographs have been shared all across the internet. Many persons would have identified that they are actually the person who was, modeling, as they like to say, in those photos. And as it relates to those young persons, when it comes time for them to go into the workspace, when it comes time to go even on the road, then the impression is that, oh, there, that girl was the one that was in the photo. And then as they get older and they start to become professionals and to get a job, then you'll find that those photos are still haunting them.
Yes.
Even though it would seem as if, yes, I deleted the photos.
I think it's important to know that nothing can ever be deleted from the net. It's all a net because it captures.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And then you have to also look on the advances in the technological gadgets. So you might say, okay, I'm going to share your new photo temporary. But guess what? The moment you share that photo, the person screenshots it.
Yes.
So by the time you delete the photo,
Yeah.
the person already have a screenshot in a folder on their device. And guess what? Their devices are connected to what we call an online cloud.
Yes.
So even if they clear their phones, they can go on any other device that is connected to the internet and just access their cloud. And they can generate your photo and reshare it and reshare it and reshare it to just about every corner of the world. So if you travel outside of Jamaica in the hope that you want to change your life, guess what? Because you have put yourself out there in such a regard, it can prove to be a challenge for
And
you.
hence the term digital footprints.
Digital footprint. Yes,
Digital footprints, and so we can speak some more about digital footprints and what it really means. Because other young people do not know that you can actually have digital footprints in the same way you have your physical footprints. But digital footprints cannot be erased.
I'm, when I was looking at HR colleagues and students, one of the things that they are now using as a medium to test or to assess or to ascertain information about persons is through digital footprint. So your Facebook account, your Twitter account,
Yes.
your WhatsApp account, or your what we said your cloud account. The persons once your name, these persons have access to these information. Same thing if you're going to the embassy, just to get your visa.
Yes.
They can assess your digital footprint to find out what you are doing, some things that you have said, some places that you have been, even your new pictures will be assessed through those mediums. So I just want the young people to understand that yes, you get excited sometimes because everybody else is doing it, you think that it is the in thing, but you need to understand that when you create a footprint, it will always be on your recommendation. Wherever you go throughout the world, and in your lifetime, persons will become aware of who you were and what you are doing. And even for some persons now, based on what is out there, is that sometimes they go to the embassy and they're surprised that they are declined because some information was said or they did something in the past, or they go for a particular job because now they want to upgrade themselves or want to become a part of the institution. But because they did not, into innocence, as they say, they did something or said something. We know about terrorism, so those persons who don't want to say something because they are in liberal country, but they need to understand that these things are captured in the digital world and the footprint are free.
And just to add on that, Mr. There are some persons who believe that because I don't use my real name online, that nobody will know who they are.
Because you quite playing games.
While playing games, nobody will know who they are. And so that gives them the imaginary freedom of thinking that, oh, just because nobody knows who I am, I can say just about anything. And we don't know how advanced technology is and how persons can track you. Right? You're very bedside. Right, you're very bedside. There's something called an IP address. Yes. And so we might not know who you are, but we can track the device. Yes. And when we track the devices are connected with the satellites that are roaming all over the globe. And so with the IP address, yes, you might call yourself Naruto 100. And you are on a live chat, and you start to be disrespectful to the presenters on the live chat, and you say, oh, nobody will know who I am because nobody don't know who's Naruto 100. Just a quick, scan of the IP address that on the device. Everything comes up. Everything comes up. And we can knock on Naruto 100's door. But Professor Wallace, not to cut you, but you would have realized that even during this lockdown period that has been going through our country, that several persons were breaking curfew and saying that there are someone who nobody can catch one of you and they thought they're doing it on your phones and so forth. And no one will find out. And in quick time the police was there.
Yeah.
The police was there. And then you were wondering, how did the police know where to find me?
Again, it goes back to our IP address. Right? And nothing is a secret. Nothing is a secret in cyberspace.
Yeah.
And a lot of persons like to say, but we have freedom of speech. But what we have to be reminded of is that with those freedom of speech comes responsibilities.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean that yes, you are free to just say just about any and everything to be disrespectful without no responsibility. There are responsibilities that accompany such freedoms.
And even though they may think that it's their body and they can share the nude pictures, it comes with consequences.
Oh yes.
It comes with consequences.
Because
Child porn is
pornography. We want to go straight into that, into pornography, because there are many young people who are posting voluntarily pictures on Facebook, on their own YouTube channels,
right.
on their WhatsApp status, Twitter, IG, and all those places. And I'm saying again, young people, that they are really setting themselves up for a massive failure. One thing about these things is that it trails you for the rest of
Yes.
your life.
Yes.
And you can be charged.
And also apart from that, you can send a picture of your for example, your breast.
Mhm.
And with technology, they can add a body to it. And use Photoshop to crop and to paste and to mess you up. You send a picture of your face. I am saying to the young people that it is not even safe enough to post a picture, full picture of yourself on the net
But they can
anymore.
Photoshop.
Because in Photoshop, you can be, and persons are quick to believe what they see.
Yes.
So no amount of explanation can erase what the person would have seen.
And these images serve, at times can serve as means of bullying.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Because
It is.
you share something with somebody privately,
Yes.
and you think that this person will keep it as
Yes.
my secret
You
or
are
our
saying that
secret.
when friendships go a walking, that
The secrets go out of you.
secrets go a talking.
Right.
And so persons trying to get back at each and others.
Exactly.
Yes. And sometimes somehow not getting back on others, you might take a picture and say, okay, I'm not going to post it, but I'm going to send it to my best friend. And it doesn't mean that you and the best friend probably have a bad relationship afterwards.
But that
The
best friend
best
and
friend,
the best friend.
they have a best friend, and the best friend send it to her best friend. And
And
then the picture go
keep
on and
sending.
keep sending around, and then you're like, but I only sent it to one person. And person's phone you can lose your phone as well. You send it to your friend lose the phone. And there it goes. I've seen cases where persons take their private picture on their phone, and the phone was stolen, and by the evening it was out, and then persons use it for cyberbullying.
Exactly.
So we have to be careful. We have to be
But a
careful.
lot of our young people are going through peer pressure. Peer pressure. And so they feel that to be with the crowd, to be recognized, to have a sense of belonging, they need to follow the crowd. Can we speak a little bit about peer pressure?
So, as we said, we highlighted earlier that teenagers, especially, as they develop, there's this need to feel belong. There's this need to be a part of the popular group. And so, guess what? A number of our young people, they will do just about anything to be accepted, not knowing that their definition for themselves is not defined by other people's impression or the need to be a part of any social group. But they have to understand that I am my own person and I am not defined by anybody else. Because that's one of the challenges that have been creating a havoc as it relates to peer pressure. A number of our young people are of the need to feel a part of, and they will go just about the extra mile to feel belong. Not knowing that, look, as a young person, you have to develop in yourselves your own set of standards, your standards that define who you are as a person. And you should never allow anybody to lower your standards for yourselves. In fact, what young people should endeavor to do is to ensure that people rise to their level and not then lowering their standards for anybody else. Therefore, if you come across somebody that warrants you to have to lower your standard, then that is a true sign that such a person is not needed in your circle. And so we have to encourage young people to look, establish standards for yourself. And if people are not able to meet your standard, it is no fault of you, but it is for those persons to meet your standards, to rise to your level, and not you lowering your level for them. That is the only way that we can actually rectify this issue of peer pressure. Not lowering your standards, but allow people to rise up to you, meeting you, and even encouraging you to build your standards even higher than you would have set them for yourselves.
Impressive. Impressive.
Indeed.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Is there any other comment on
Yeah, because they say person need to identify who they are.
Yeah.
Identify who you are, what your values are, what your goals are, what is my image as an individual. Because it's tempting to follow the crowd, as Mr. Wallace said. It's tempting to want to be liked by everybody. But once you identify who you are and become confident in who you are, have your own self-efficacy, and have your own ambition, persons around you will rise to you as an individual.
Mhm. And I just want to add that it's important that you believe in yourself for you. Because if you believe in yourself, then there's nothing anybody else can tell you otherwise. And you'll find out that instead of being, if you believe in yourself, instead of other persons laughing at you or don't want to follow you, you're going to find out that eventually, because they know what you're about, they know that they cannot influence you, you're going to find out that eventually they're going to want to follow you. So I just want to advise you where peer pressure is concerned to be a leader, not a follower.
Yes.
It's always good to think of yourself as a leader.
Yes.
Very much so. Thank you very much. Viewers, you have been listening to all that has been said. And I'm telling you, quite a lot is being said here. I'm sure this is a very exciting session. The knowledgeable panelists have been sharing quite a lot with us. And we want to hear from you, our viewers. What is your take on this cyberspace and safe use of the internet? What do you think? Please do not hesitate to call in. You can call in and participate on our live, on our show. The number to call is 876 917 876 572 6566. You can call in, you can send a voice message on WhatsApp, or you can WhatsApp a message, or you can type in the chat, and we will also right. So we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. Please call in and share with us. And even as we continue, my panelists, we are talking about this whole aspect of cyberbullying and image assassination. And one of the things that we need to talk about is when using the internet, from time to time, you find sites just popping up. Things that you never intended to look at, just popping up in front of you. How will you treat with something like that?
One of the things that we have to be mindful of when it comes down to pop-ups at times. For in some respects, pop-ups are influenced by your search history. And so the internet is so designed in a way that there is an intelligence system that is designed within it that seeks to provide you with things that they think are the things that you want to see. But there are, in other cases, pop-ups do come randomly. And so there are actually settings that you can employ to ensure that you don't get unnecessary pop-ups. For example, even in the Google platform, the Google search engine, you can access the settings and it can be set in a way where you have a control over what you see. But just in case those don't work, you have to be mindful of your standards again. You don't want to see a certain thing. There is simply a way that to just do a backspace or to just exit out of it completely. And then if you see that it continuously comes up, then guess what? Even if you don't know how to set your devices to not see such pop-ups, those are actually times that you can actually seek technological help. Because even myself, I'm still learning so many things about the online platform. And there have been times that I am not able to manipulate it how I would like. But I would go out and I would seek some assistance with persons who are more experienced in that regard. Because you don't want even the internet to lower the standards either. And so yes, there are times that the purpose will come and the viruses will come that it is accompanied by things that you'd rather not see that can also be traumatic to you and even in your development. But you have to know that look, in times when you're not able to find solutions to the pop-up, seek technological help. There is nothing wrong in seeking technological help. Here at Parental Academy for our students, if you're not able to manage it on your own, we have the information technology teachers, we have the information technology lab technicians, and there are so many other members of staff or the system administrator and other members of staff who are more than happy to assist us. Trust me, even here at Seattle, they are tired of seeing Mr. Wallace and the old laptop. But if I need help, I'm going to seek it. So that's one of the encouragement to our viewers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wallace. Just want to zone in. We need to remember to remind our young people, Mr. Jones, as Dean of Discipline here at State Academy, that if they visit unwarranted sites, especially with those devices and the MOE passwords and the MOE emails that they have been supplied with, what will be the consequences?
Yeah. So if these pops up, if they allow it, the temptation to have the better of them. So yes, the phones are there popping up before you want to look at it. Then you will be forced out of the system, in that you will be locked out of your MOE account and your gadget will be turned off. And we at school will know who the person is and what the person has done. So I encourage you to ensure that when you're on the internet, use it wisely. Don't go to a porn site when it pop up. But also the pop up, Mr. Mungo, is that you have to understand that some of the pop up are what we call fishers. They try to fish information.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, so you have to understand that when you are there with your mother use the same gadget for a banking account and all of those things. When you want to these sites, your parent information, your personal information will be shared with each person. So they will gain your information, your bank card, your location, your TRN, and all those things can be found through these persons.
Very important.
Yeah.
And there are some pop-ups as well that offer you free cell phones, free gifts.
Yes.
And most of the time, well, I'm yet to see if that is ever true.
No.
Most of the time,
It's a virus
Virus.
on your phone,
Yes.
your device.
and you will have your email, you will have your Facebook, your Instagram, all of the things that you have going on.
Yes.
And then it will send messages to your friends and other stuff that will also damage your image.
Right.
So we have to be careful.
Damage
Just
your
a
gadget.
comment here. Sandrika comments to say, persons need to be responsible when using the internet as it can have life debilitating effects on them. Another comment from Jaron. Jaron is saying that it is sad that young people are ruining their lives by not using internet safely. Another person here. So a Parental says parent is saying that we should take all devices from our children and block them from all social media sites. Right? And Mr. Wallace is saying you want to zone in on that, Mr. Wallace.
Yes, that's a good point that was shared by one of our viewers. Parents, you must have a control over these devices. Not because the children are now in an online space means that you lose all control of being a parent. As a parent, it is your responsibility to ensure that you monitor your children. You ensure that you know what they're doing while they're online. There are some applications that can be downloaded that where parents can actually monitor the devices even if they're not at home.
Yes.
And the parents know what sizes the children are going on, what is it that they're doing. Everything that we're using now is what they call smart. So even the smart TV, as parents, the children are home now, you might have to be at work. You can still from work monitor the actions of your children online. And so it becomes even more important in this time where everything concerning learning has a large aspect of it being online. Parents, you still can have control of your children while they are online, and it is also a responsibility that you must have. You must know what your children are doing. You must have some control. What time the students get to use the devices? If you know that your child is not so responsible, you can't have your child being online playing games or going on various sites to which you are ignorant to right through the night. And when it comes time for school in the morning online, the child is not able to get up early to be in class. You have to remember that school starts at 8 a.m. even though you are at home, it is still school. So you can't have your child playing fire, free fire, and
Free fire.
PUBG
Yeah.
right through the night while you as a parent are in your room sleeping.
Yeah.
And then
YouTube,
and on YouTube.
Facebook.
But even in regular WhatsApp chat,
I
when
did
you're
the
sleeping
WhatsApp.
12 o'clock, they're on that.
Right. So, and then this is going to impact the quality of the teaching and learning process.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, parents, we tend to put the blame just on the school when your child doesn't meet the requisite learning outcome that you would like. Not exploring what are the reasons from the home perspective that influence the child not performing at the level that you know as a parent that they can perform. So it becomes even more important that you know what is happening. There should be a set time that, okay, after 10 p.m., the devices are shut off, it is time to go to bed.
And we say shut off, it means that you, the parents, take the device,
Right.
because you can take the device with you and go to bed. Because
Right.
you can say, all right, shut off time, go to bed. You're in your room. You don't know if they're still on it.
Right. So parents, you have to monitor the actions of your children online. Because guess what? If you don't monitor them, the internet will become the parents. And the internet will become an influence for your children. And trust me, we don't want the internet to define who our children are.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Wise. Another parent, a quick comment here stating that students and children have rights, and so we should not limit them by taking away their devices as they have their rights, and parents should not encroach on the rights and freedoms of the child.
But
The other child.
to address that parent, yes, children do have their rights. But guess what, parents? We have seen the outcome of the negative impact of the internet. Even here at Steertown, we have seen where the academic performance of students have dwindled because of the continuous negative use of the internet. There are times parents would come into us and they would say, "Sir, all my child do is play a game right through the night and a morning time. He cannot wake up and he just asleep and he not doing any homework." So, are you as a parent going to say, "My child has a right to access the internet," and not do something as a parent to address that in order for your child to have the highest learning outcome there is? We're not saying that your child should not have access to the internet. The point we're trying to convey is that as a parent, while your child is online, your duties and responsibilities as a parent are not put on pause.
Yes.
So you as a parent should still monitor, should still exercise your parental control. Because I believe that yes, children they do have rights, but they have responsibility. And how they're going to grow and develop these responsibilities through parental guidance.
Yes, sir.
And
Two
parental guidance is a part of their rights.
Yes.
The parent they have to have a caregiver, that
Yes,
takes care of them, that actually monitors what they do.
exactly. Because you, as a parent, with the wisdom and knowledge that you have gained throughout your lifetime,
Yes.
would have learned a few things. I know that there are some do's and don'ts, and there are some things that will harm or benefit my child. So this is the pathway that I want for my child. And by developing those guidelines and those parameters, you as a person can shape and mold the child into that rounded individual that that person should be. Because not only that the internet is harmful, but it also affects your eyes.
That is true. That is
It
true.
affects your well-being, as I spoke about the other day. It affects your
Yes.
well-being. So being on the internet, focusing for hours.
From morning till morning.
Yes, focusing for hours, with your legs become weak. And when your legs become weak, then the parents now would have to find money to take it to the child, to the ophthalmology, to get those things corrected. So that will become an expense. And that child will not be able to function in class because the child is tired.
Yes,
That
yes.
is true.
The child is tired. So we're not saying that they don't have rights.
Not at all.
We are just saying that it should be monitored
Yes.
in such a way that the child can function to the optimum maximum level potential in school. That's all we are saying.
And even so, from a psychological perspective, as counselors, we have observed where a number of our students, a number of children across Jamaica and even the world they have actually lost touch with the physical world.
Yes.
Their entire
Children don't play
being.
football again.
Right.
They play everything
They
online.
don't play, they don't know what is Chinese
They
or
don't know these things.
or basketball.
So and then it impacts their physical health and well-being.
Yes.
So when you look on that,
And their mental well-being.
Oh, yes.
right.
Yes.
So when you look on that, a number of the cases that present themselves to us as counselors, and we find students having psychological challenges, and when we do our therapeutic approaches, we discover that a lack of being, you know, of relating with the outside world, the physical space. Our children are now being defined by what is just online. And so they become stressed out with the inaccurate images that they see. You look at somebody's social media space, and everything on that person's social media space is so beautiful. It is so positive, and they're living the dream life that you would like to live. And at no point do you see on those social media spaces really where those persons have a bad day. Because nobody is going to post the bad aspects of their lives on social media. And so for those young people, they strive to have that same quality of life, not knowing that it is really an untruth.
Yes.
That the internet provides. Because even me, I'm not going to put on the internet really that I'm having a bad day. You're only going to see when I am at the beach relaxing and I am, out for a fancy dinner.
Yeah.
And when the pay cannot meet the bills, you're not going to see that. And for young people, you're going to see your colleagues, oh, I'm traveling and I'm going to the grill and I'm going, and you are there. Wow, I can't live that life.
They become overwhelmed.
And you become overwhelmed, and
Depressed.
it opens the door for depression
That is true.
because of the fake imagery that the internet provides.
And another thing with the internet too, it allows your child to be put out there, for everybody to see them. So everybody, yes, and sometimes you call for unwanted attention. So you have a little 13-year-old and she's all the time she's out there on social media. Unwanted attention comes to her and then it opens the leeway for the predators, for the sexual rumors.
So many things have been said, panelists. I am indeed grateful this afternoon for the wealth of experience and knowledge that you have shared with us. It shows that you're all on top of your game and you're all knowledgeable in your field. And ladies and gentlemen, our viewers, you can agree with me that our panelists have done a superb job in dealing with the issue of cyberspace and safe internet usage. And so each panelist will have exactly 20 seconds to give their final thoughts, to share, to wrap up, and then we will have some housekeeping matters, and then we will have a good afternoon. Quick, your final thoughts, Mr. Wallace.
The internet can be a beautiful opportunity in which students and young people in general can discover their truest potential if used properly. And so we have to be mindful of the things that we do on the internet. We have to be mindful of our actions. We have to be mindful of the image that we portray for ourselves while being online. If we are mindful of these factors, then indeed the internet can be of a positive impact to us and for others as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wallace. Over to you, Ms.
And
Carr.
I just want to share 3 golden rules to stay safe online. One of them, if an email looks suspicious, it is best to delete it or mark it junk. And passwords are not social. Do not share your password with anyone, not even your friend. And remember to log out while using a public computer.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Mr. Jones, final words over to you.
Yes, the internet, the cyberspace is an interesting place to be. But remember, there is no boundary. So you have to be responsible, be disciplined, ensure that what you do is responsible and you will be held accountable either now or in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. To you, our viewership, our listenership, we are indeed grateful that you joined us this afternoon. Allow me to express special thanks to our panelists, Mr. Chadwick Wallace, Senior Guidance Counselor here at Stairtown Academy, Ms. Joanne Clark, Guidance Counselor here at Stairtown Academy, and of course, Mr. Andrew Jones, our Dean of Discipline here at Stairtown Academy. Allow me to also express special thanks to our media technician, Mr. Jamar Love, who is also a videographer and our editor and many other hats that he wears, and our system administrator. And remember that if you are having challenges with your MOE passwords, with your email addresses, with everything concerning your online platforms, the Google Classrooms and so forth, please reach out to Mr. Love at the following number: 876-865-1112. I repeat, 876-865-1112. Mr. Love stands ready to answer all your concerns regarding the online interactions and online platforms and all the nuances associated with such. Of course, your guidance counselors are here, your dean is here, your principal is supposed to be here. Right?
It's here.
Right? And so you may reach out to these individuals to assist you as well. And ladies and gentlemen, just to inform you, we have an exciting, you cannot miss this. We have an exciting package lined up for you on Friday of this week. Yes, on Friday of this week, we celebrate, and I don't want to guess, World Suicide Prevention Day. So for all of you suicidal persons who are thinking of committing suicide, you cannot miss this very interactive session. When you hear it, you will want to live. You will want to live when you hear about how to prevent suicide, to look at the impacts, to look at the things that pushes you one towards the edge or the verge of jumping over. And so, please tune in on Friday at 11:30 a.m. live at Stairtown Academy, live on our YouTube channel for our World Suicide Prevention Day. Hello. There'll be prizes, there'll be surprises, there'll be dance, music, dog poetry, and hello, I will be doing my dancing. Yes, good luck with that. Right? But you can't miss me performing. Of course, you cannot miss Mr. Jones doing the wacky dip. The dirt bones.
Well.
What dirt bones?
Dirt bones, yes.
Dirt bones. What is dirt
Bones.
bones?
Dirt bones.
Dirt bones. Is that bones with dirt on it?
It's a dance.
It's a dance with bones on it.
Yeah.
Move.
You're gonna
A
bones.
dance move with bones on dirt.
Okay.
Okay, it's a dirty dance bones.
No.
Right. And so, my viewers, we'll be behaving responsibly on the platform, the cyberspace platform in France. Right? And so, remember that tomorrow we have our timetable to run. So you go straight to our form rooms. We do our registration at 8, and we have our session with our form teachers at 8:30, and then we have our timetables running. So we have full classes tomorrow, and then on Friday we have classes in the morning, form time, we have registration, then form time, then classes, then we break for the very exciting suicide prevention thing. And of course, our panelists on Friday will include some of our students as well. You will be able to see your classmates, your schoolmates sharing their views as well. We'll have special guests, special invited guests from other agencies who will share as well. And you'll be able to call in and to give your comments as well. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the production crew here at Stairtown Academy, we thank you for having joined in, and we encourage you to continue to stay safe even as you surf the internet. God bless you and have a good afternoon. Music.
Online, be responsible and caring all the time. Only talk to people you know that you know. Strangers can be dangerous, I'm sure you know. Think about the pictures that you're posting too. Think about the things that they could say about you. Each and